finally buy my dream car. It's a self-driving flying car, but we just say self-flying now. You know, because it's the future, and cars fly in the future.
So switch to Progressive and save big, because those savings can add up in the future. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive in 2020. Potential savings will vary.
That's the sound of a crack in the ceiling found at a home inspection. But with a Realtor by your side, a newfound leak might only cause minor worries. With their expertise, a Realtor can suggest a credit at closing and even connect you to a contractor to help you shore up that leak and alleviate your worries. When it comes to cracks in your plans, the expertise of a Realtor can make all the difference. The difference between an agent and a Realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are. Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her Realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a Realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Your happiest spring starts with Lowe's, and it all starts with making your yard happy. Protect your garden beds with your favorite color of premium mulch at the everyday low price of $368. Step up your curb appeal with our Greenworks 1800 PSI electric pressure washer, now only $99. Make your yard shine this spring and create a season full of happiness. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility. Selection varies by location. While supplies last, valid 3/24 through 3/30. Mulch offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii, U.S. only.
Compelling talk you can count on. The Mildred Gaddis Show is back on 105.9 KISS.
Not really. To work 40 years in television news doing something we love is remarkable. And to have the privilege of working with the same team in this same city with loyal viewers like you for 25 years is extraordinary. And for that, we are so grateful.
Grateful that you have embraced us as part of your family, invited us into your homes, allowed us to tell your stories, to share your joy, your sorrow, your dreams, to cheer with you when the Red Wings won the Stanley Cup, or the Tigers made it to the World Series, or even as the Lions just kept trying and trying to do the best they could. But you have given us a front row seat to some amazing events.
Well, one of the first big stories that Hugh and I covered, and you saw it earlier, was the Hudson's implosion. And we were wearing masks that day because of all the ash and the fallout. And it's kind of ironic, all these years later, as we wrap up our careers here at Fox 2, we've had to wear masks because of COVID. And even though we have been separated for much of the past 2 years, we have never stopped being a team.
And we have never stopped caring for you. It has been an honor to give you the information you need to live a better life. But it is also our mission to give you the truth, even when the truth is painful to hear. We have been through so much together. The fall of the Twin Towers on 9/11, political scandals, even mass shootings. And yet, even in our darkest hours, we have always found a way to heal and to hope.
Our team is so much more than those of us you see on your screen every night. Our gratitude to our management team, Greg, Kevin, Laura, Deb, Anitra, our longtime Nightside producers, Ken, Rebecca, Tiffany, John, Maggie, our dedicated team of writers and photographers and editors. This doesn't happen every day here without all of you. So top job. And to our tech team and our studio crew, you pivoted, kept us on the air from home under some very challenging circumstances during the pandemic. Thank you.
In fact, we appreciate all 175 members of the current Fox 2 family and all of the wonderful testimonials from everyone we worked with over the past 2 decades.
It has been beautiful. To my parents, may my dad rest in peace. They nurtured and encouraged my dreams. They set an alarm so they could wake up in the middle of the night to watch me on TV when I landed at the network. I love you forever. To my husband, Dean, you're my rock. Couldn't have done this without you. To our son, Tanner, thanks for sharing your mom with the TV world, for being my cheerleader and making my heart full every day.
And to my parents, who knocked down the walls of segregation so their son could walk through. To Priscilla, my darling wife of 38 years, the star of the moon, the guiding light of our family, and to our sons, Jared and Vincent, who make their father proud of the men they have become. I love you all, and I owe you all a debt I can never repay.
To this guy sitting next to me, 25 years together, that's one heck of a run. We're so grateful for our partnership on this desk, most of all for our friendship. We've laughed, we've cried, we've always had each other's backs. Now, I don't think we'll probably miss our late night work schedule, but I do know I will miss seeing you every day. I wish you and Priscilla and the boys so many healthy, happy years ahead. I want you to embark on this new chapter and enjoy every minute. I love you, my friend.
I love you too, my partner, my friend. I wish you and Dean a lifetime of fun and adventures around the world, but no matter where you roam, you always will find our door open. A good meal and some good wine there too.
We'll be there. To all of you out there, thank you for putting your trust in us, for allowing us into your homes every night. We never take that for granted. As the late, great Carol Burnett used to say when she closed out her show, I'm so glad, we're so glad we had this time together.
And as I always say, the future is in your hands and the best is yet to come. Good night and thank you all.
We love you.
Got some
Oh
flowers
my
there for
God.
you.
All right. No
Wow.
popcorn.
I love you so much. I love you too.
Thank you.
And with that, Huel and Monica did indeed bid the audience a farewell. And Huel Perkins is on the line with us this morning. How are you, my friend?
Mildred, how are you doing? How's it going?
I'm wonderful. You know what? Very few people get a chance in life to do that thing that they really love and that they've really wanted to do. And for the years you've invested in the business, you've not had to hop around the country a lot. Now that's pretty cool.
That's amazing. 32 years at the same station.
Doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen because we've survived 3 ownership changes, a half dozen news directors and general managers, and we got to go out when we wanted to go out, and it was very special and very wonderful.
Yeah, that is, ladies and gentlemen, that is a rare opportunity in this business. When you first came to Detroit, did you think you'd be here a long time?
No. In fact, we thought we'd be here 3 years and gone. I did not expect to be here as long as I have, but you know what happened? Detroit embraced me. They made this son of Louisiana one of their own, and I learned to love this place as my home. This is my home now. And thanks to the people of Detroit, I have found a place where I will spend the rest of my life, and I'm so grateful.
How did you adjust to the weather? Now, you were in St. Louis before you came here. How long were you in St. Louis?
Yeah, you and I were in St. Louis.
Listen, I tell people all the time, Huel and I both were in St. Louis at the same time. He left, came to Detroit, got a contract. I came to Detroit after him and got a job.
Look, I just had a job, too, when I first got here. You know, in this business, there are no guarantees.
I know.
No guarantees. You go from contract to contract or sometimes from, month to month. And look, when I was first hired, this is the wonderful thing about it. I was in law school, Mildred, in Louisiana. I was working during the day, going to law school during the day, but working in TV at night. And some guy flew in from St. Louis and offered me an anchor job in St. Louis out of the blue. I had no intention of doing anything but becoming an attorney. But this guy, Steve Antonetti, said, I see in you something that we can use on the air in St. Louis. And I went to St. Louis believing I'd be there only about a year. I ended up 3 years. And when Steve Antonetti came to Detroit, who did he hire? Who brought me to Detroit. So that's how I ended up.
What was the first thing that was totally different for you? Because every city is different. You leave Louisiana and you come to St. Louis. It has its own unique characteristics. And then you come to Motown.
Yes, indeed. Well, first of all, the weather. Baton Rouge, of course, is warmer. St. Louis is not too bad, but the weather in Detroit is colder. And I had to adjust. I had to go out and buy long johns. I had to buy all sorts of different coats. But I also learned to love the changing seasons. I learned to ski.
Get out.
I had never done that. I would look every winter. I would go skiing down little mountains and having a great time. In fact, I enjoyed it so much. I went out to Vail, Colorado to ski. So yes, yes.
Did you ever imagine that you and the Queen of Soul would become so close and friends?
Oh, now that. Now you're gonna make me cry now, because we just celebrated her 80th birthday. What would have been, but it's amazing. You never know. I'd be on the air. First of all, when we first met at her parties. Remember these fabulous parties she used to throw, Mildred?
Oh, yes.
It was wonderful. And she'd invite all kinds of people there, and they were just wonderful celebrations. And we talk at the party, but not long. And I gave her my number, told her to call me anytime. Well, sometimes I'd be on the air, and the people on the assignment desk would say, Aretha's on the phone. I said, well, I can't talk to her now. Well, she has something. So during the commercial break, she'd say, well, you aired this story. I didn't like what you said about this. I said, well, again. But then she'd also call back and say, oh, you aired this story about this poor child who's in trouble, this family who needs help. I'm going to help them. How do I get in contact with them? So she would call to offer help to people who were in trouble. It was amazing. And as she, was dealing with cancer, and you and I knew about it, we didn't say anything about it, but as she approached that point in her life, she would call just to talk about the old times, about the fun she had with Sam Cooke, about all the people she met and the things she did. And amazingly, she would, I would say, my God, you're the Queen of Soul. You have the greatest voice, I think, in the history of the recording industry. And she would say, but you know what? There are people who were even better than I was, and you never heard of them. But she said, my voice was a gift from God. It's not anything I planned or did. It was a gift from God, and I made it my life to give back.
And Huel, she did so much of that. She did so very much of that. You mentioned the parties. You never knew who you were going to meet.
Absolutely.
Aretha would invite the shoe shine guy.
Yep.
She had the head of the U.S. Security Council. You never knew. And she made sure that everybody knew each other. That was so amazing to me. She would, and what I found, and was that sometimes when you found out she was on the phone, sometimes she was intimidating without intending to be. So I'm like, oh, Lord, what? She's on the phone.
She's Aretha Franklin. It's like, my goodness.
I know. I know.
But she was just a wonderful woman, a wonderful spirit. Absolutely.
When you think about, and I know there's so very many over 30 years, memories, which ones, just give us about 3 of those that really stand out for you in terms of your life here.
Okay, I'll give you, Aretha was one of them. Number one for me was Rosa Parks. I am 67 years old, and when I was growing up in Baton Rouge as a young child, white-only signs were still all over the city. There were still places I couldn't go, things I couldn't do because of the color of my skin. So when people say, oh, this is not a racist country, yes, it has been a racist country, but thanks to people like Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks, we changed it. We forced this nation to live up to the principles outlined in this Constitution. But is what we had to fight for. But
Huel,
to meet Rosa Parks, yes.
Do you ever marvel at how Black Southerners broke the backbone of segregation in America with not a whole lot of resources? Do you think about that?
Exactly. Oh, no, absolutely. Let me tell you, Mildred, the first bus boycott in America was not Montgomery. It was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The very year I was born, in the summer of 1954, Reverend T.J. Jemison organized a boycott of the Baton Rouge bus system to demand that black people be allowed to sit anywhere on that bus. And that 1954 bus boycott was so successful, it ended in 6 months, and the bus company said, okay, we'll do whatever you want to do. Martin Luther King came to Baton Rouge to talk to TJ about how to organize it. So the connection is incredible. And then you have Rosa in Montgomery doing the same thing in December 1955. But it was Rosa that really ignited the entire nation. Not many people paid attention to Baton Rouge, but when it happened in Montgomery, and that boycott lasted more than a year, that is what really changed everything and sparked the movement. And you're so right.
And those black
and they did it without firing a shot. They didn't go to the U.S. Capitol and try to break in and change it. No, they did it with the fortitude of their own will and belief in God and faith in the country. And thank God they did, because it changed this country and it changed my life. And when I got a chance to interview Rosa, I thanked her for that. I was just overcome with gratitude. And then to have her say, well, you know, young man, I like to watch you too. That was it.
I love it.
That was wonderful. And then look, let me tell you one other story very quickly too. The second story that's a great story is a guy named Kevin Veit. I don't know if you saw the newspaper article they wrote in the Free Press, but you know, we were flashed in the front page, but the story on the second page was my favorite. It was about a young man named Kevin Veit. I met here when I first came to Detroit. He was working at the meat counter in Meyer. And he told me that he had gone to Southern University, but he dropped out. And he was working here trying to find his way. And I said, Kevin, this is a good way to make a living, but there are better ways. This job is not for you. I want you to go back to Southern, and I'll help you do that. And I helped Kevin Veit go back to Southern University. He did. He got his degree. He became a teacher in Detroit Public Schools. He became a union organizer for the UAW. He led the Detroit Chess Club team to national championships 30 years later.
Get out of here.
That is one of my greatest joys, to think that something I did 3 decades ago still has power and still has meaning. So, you know, get Kevin Veit on, and he'll tell you that story. But that to me is the meaning of my life. That is why I'm so grateful and so happy that I was able to do what I've done.
Huel, would you please take a moment and share with black parents who are listening to this radio station why it's important for them to consider HBCUs for their children?
Mildred, for so many years, those schools, historically black colleges and universities, were the only places we could go. But they are special because they lift us up. They not only educate us in terms of facts and figures, but they also give us the power to move forward. They lift us up spiritually in a way that not only makes us proud, but that makes us strong. Those schools give us the strength to overcome almost anything. That's why you have Martin Luther King coming out of Morehouse. That's why you have some of our greatest leaders coming out of Grambling and Southern University and Prairie View in Texas. And it's remarkable, it's wonderful, and I would invite people and especially young black women and children, women and men, when they're considering these schools, to always consider HBCUs as a place to start. Now, look, you can go to Morehouse, Spelman, Southern, Texas Southern, Prairie View, Jackson State, and still end up in Harvard. That's okay.
You know
but
something?
You'll get to those schools with a better sense of who you are.
Of who you are.
I think a better chance to succeed.
You know what,
Absolutely.
Huel, if I had my preference, every black kid in America would go to an HBCU their freshman year, out of state, live on campus in the dorm. And after that freshman year, go anywhere in the world you want to go. But it is an experience that is invaluable. You meet black people from all over the world, really, and you develop relationships that will carry you through life.
Lifetime relationships, which is so important. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, Huel Perkins, what are you going to do with all those fabulous suits and ties? I mean, the best dressed man. Listen, the best dressed man on television in Detroit. And I know you've heard that a million times. So what do you do with all those gorgeous suits?
You're very kind. Look, remember, some of those suits are out of season. Some of those suits, I've got about 24 in the basement. So, you have to change with the times. But some of those suits I will give away. Jackets for Jobs is a great charity. And so they will get some of those suits. I'm not going to keep the 30 or 40 I have now. I don't need them anymore. So, I'll keep about maybe 10 or 15. And the rest I'm going to give away. I'm going to give some of my clothes to charity. I have so many ties. I have hundreds of ties.
I know you do.
I'm going to give the bulk of them away. But I'm going to give those suits away, and I'm going to pick up a pair of golf clubs, some golf clubs, and I'm going to hit the golf course. I've got an 88-key electric piano in the basement now. I'm going to set up a little mini studio. I can't sing. I have no talent, but I have a lot of time.
You knew that was going to be my next question. What are you going to be doing with your time now? High achievers don't hang in their jerseys and walk away from the game and do nothing. You know that.
Well, maybe you're like that, but no, I know I'm going to do what I want to do for at least three months or so. I want to enjoy this time, and let me tell you why. Look, some of my best friends have died in the last 4 months. I've lost 4 of my closest friends in the last 4 months, all of them my age. And the one thing I learned from their living and their death is that you've got to do what you want to do while you can do it, while you're healthy. So
Absolutely.
I'm going to do a lot of traveling. I'm going to do a lot of golf. I'm going to do a lot of music. After I'm done with it, when I'm satisfied, when I'm happy with the time spent in leisure, then I'll venture out. But I'm also going to try to be an inspiration to people. I'm going to try to create more stories like Kevin Fight so that young people can learn and know they can do anything, but that it's important to give back. I want to try to create a generation of young people who are successful and who make money. Financial literacy is one of my, I think, motivating factors. I want people to know how to make money and how to use money and how to build wealth. I want black people to build wealth, and that's going to be one of my focuses.
Oh, I'm loving it. I am just loving it. How do you spell Kevin's last name?
Fite. And if you, I'll send you the article, and I'll send you his phone number, actually.
Please
and
do.
You can call him.
Please do.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, I am just excited about your future past television. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be bright, I know. And this whole opportunity to train people and help them to become financially independent is just awesome. Because you know what's the sad story, Huel? It's interesting that under segregation and little or no money, our people tend to have done better with their resources than too many of us are doing today.
That's true. That's true. And because we're focusing on the wrong things, don't focus on Gucci or Prada or any of these labels. Focus on building real estate, stocks, bonds, investments that will serve you for a lifetime. I think that's important too. One of my heroes is Gail Perry Mason. I don't know if you know her.
I know Gail.
Gail is a remarkable person, and I'm hoping to work with her because she has a wonderful program that teaches kids how to make money, find the skills, develop the skills and the education that are valuable in this society, in this world, and then to use that to form a basis to create wealth. And I hope to work with her in her program so that we can get more young people into that program and develop that kind of mindset. But it's important to keep the focus. Keep the focus.
All right, my friend, until next time, I don't say goodbye. And say good morning to your bride for me, Mrs. Priscilla.
I will indeed. We love you. Know that you are a great, great, wonderful broadcaster, one of our great friends, and we thank you so much for all you've done for us over these years. You're simply wonderful.
Thank you so very much. I'll be talking with you soon. I'm going to follow up on Kevin, and we'll be talking in the future, folks. This isn't the last time you're going to hear Huel on the air. We'll be doing some things with him. Thank you, my friend, and congratulations. Congratulations.
Mildred, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to having a great afterlife.
All right, and that you will. That you will. Thanks so much, Huel.
Thank you, Mildred.
Bye-bye.
Take care now. Bye-bye.
Stuck at your job or ready to upgrade to a more fulfilling career? At Abcott Institute in Southfield, you can train for a career in heating and cooling while you work. Their 9-month hands-on program allows you the best of both worlds. The industry needs qualified HVAC technicians. Abcott will help you every step of the way, from financial aid to job placement assistance. Get started on your new career today.
Enrolling is easy. Visit abcott.edu. That's abcott.edu.
Financial aid available to those who qualify. For more information about graduation rates, median debt of students who have completed the program, and other information, visit abcott.edu.
Get ready to make your online sports bets with the official partner of the Detroit Pistons. Take a look at the brand new Bad River Sportsbook.
Must be 21. Playable in Michigan only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117.
Oh, Work With Me Dave. The Work With Me Dave crew is the only dealer in town to let you shop online to see what your monthly payment will be. No, it's true. And best of all, there's absolutely no impact to your credit score. Other dealers, they're going to check your credit, then that lowers your score. But not Work With Me Dave. At workwithmedave.com, you can pre-qualify and see your payment with no impact to your credit score. Again, the other dealers, they want you to wait around. Then they finally tell you your payment, and then you can't afford it. Plus, checking your credit dings your score. So I beg you, if you need a car and you've got bad credit, go to workwithmedave.com. You'll find Dave at Telegraph, 12 Mile in the new car showroom. Just go in and yell, "Work With Me Dave!" Or go see your payment at workwithmedave.com.
Do you want the best for your car? Then fill up with premium at Circle K. Circle K Premium is our best fuel with double the cleaning detergent, protecting your engine from corrosion and damage so it can work at its best. And that, my friend, increases your mileage for more cha-ching in your pocket. Plus, when you fill up with premium at Circle K, you can save up to 20 cents per gallon. Offer valid Thursdays or Fridays at participating stores. For details, visit CircleK.com. Circle K. How convenient.
Join Macy's and Girls Inc. to empower the new generation of leaders now during Women's History Month. Throughout March, you can fund mentorships, STEM in college, and career readiness programming for girls when you donate online to Girls Inc. Or round up your Macy's store purchase up to 99 cents and donate the extra change. Give back today and find out how we're celebrating women's voice, choice, and ownership at Macys.com/purpose.
Did you know running your dishwasher every night with Cascade Platinum actually saves water?
Saving water smarter with the dishwasher.
It's true. An Energy Star certified dishwasher with Cascade Platinum uses only 4 gallons of water per cycle, while a running sink uses that every 2 minutes. Every load saves water.
Saving water smarter with the dishwasher.
So do it every night. Run your dishwasher with Cascade Platinum, the surprising way to
save water.
WDMK FM and WDMK FM HD1 Detroit. This is the Mildred Gaddis Show on 105.9 KISS FM, a Beasley Media Group station.
Bad credit? Forget it. Call Cousin Jimmy at A&B Motors and drive today. 586-445-1600. 586-445-1600. 2020s, 19s, and 18s are in stock now from $189 per month. Give them 3 minutes and you're in it.
In 2018, marijuana use became legal in Michigan for adults over the age of 21. Even though it's legal, driving high is not. Don't drive high. It's the law. A message from the Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning.
And we're back with breaking news. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. Make sure... Jim.
Ooh, yes, this tastes like the best Coke ever to me.
We're on the air.
I need to try it first. With zero sugar and refreshingly delicious, is Coca-Cola Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Pick some up at your local Meijer and Meijer Express today.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $700 on average, and those savings add up. Imagine what you could buy in the future.
So yeah, I used the savings from switching to Progressive 50 years ago to finally buy my dream car. It's a self-driving flying car, but we just say self-flying now. You know, because it's the future, and cars fly in the future.
So switch to Progressive and save big, because those savings can add up in the future. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive in 2020. Potential savings will vary.
That's the sound of a crack in the ceiling found at a home inspection. But with a Realtor by your side, a newfound leak might only cause minor worries. With their expertise, a Realtor can suggest a credit at closing and even connect you to a contractor to help you shore up that leak and alleviate your worries. When it comes to cracks in your plans, the expertise of a Realtor can make all the difference. The difference between an agent and a Realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
It's a full circle winning weekend on KISS. Here's this hour's keyword to text. Fox. Text the word to 313-568-1059 for your chance to win tickets to see Kemen Babyface live April 27th at the Fox Theater. Good luck. 105.9 KISS FM.
This is the Mildred Gaddis Show. The streets are talking.
Well, I got something to say.
The streets are talking, but y'all ain't listening.
What the streets talking about then?
The streets are talking, y'all, and Mildred is listening.
It is still 25, boy. I don't know if we're still if it's still feeling like 17 degrees out there right now. But anyway, here's what's going on. Wind chill factor.
Yes, 14.
Oh, the wind chill factor 14. Yeah. Oh, Marcus Reed says.
The all-new 105.9 KISS FM, making a difference in Detroit with smooth.
Okay, I don't know. That's the buttons are jumping around here, okay? All right, thank you very much. Marcus says we have a wind chill factor of 14 degrees. That's why it's so cold. I received a lot of messages, and I have this message I received on Facebook, thanks to Miss Joy Canty. And it was a video, Ramon Jackson's video, and he was talking with Jamal Watson. I think it was Jamal Watson. Anyway, it's Ramon Jackson's video here on Facebook. And I'm not sure what's going on because I haven't been down to City Hall, but I know that there are some citizens out there who are hopping mad, and they are saying that they have not been able to get in and hear the city council meeting. They contend that there is a small room that a group of individuals are allowed to come in, and the rest of the people are packed in a room outside of that room. And I don't understand all of that. They're concerned about some two particular budgets, and that they're not having the ability to hear the discussion, or that certain people are not even discussing their budgets. They're just passing them in. Well, I've never sat in a city council meeting, I don't think. If so, it must have been 20 years ago. I don't know how that thing goes, but I know that a lot of citizens are upset about it. Tahira, you're on the air. Tahira?
Good morning.
Good morning, Queen Mildred Gaddis. Thank you so much. We thank God for you. We thank the universe for you because you are helping us get victory. We're demanding that City Council open up the City County building and the meetings in the auditorium. Now, they have everybody jammed up in this little bitty room talking about they scared of the COVID, but you in the little bitty room. They can use HEPA filters. They can use this inside of the City County building has these huge ceilings. It's very big and wide. You can space people apart rather than cramming them in that little tiny room. There's more COVID in that little tiny room than it is in that big auditorium, the Irma Henderson Auditorium. The second thing I called about Queen Gaddis, I just want to thank you. I am on a 19-day hunger fast because City Council has the power to hold hearings about these over-taxations. They're overtaxing us. They overtaxed me $12,000, and every month is $500 more. They're holding us hostage by saying, "Oh, you'll lose your property if you don't get into this payment plan." But you're already overtaxing me. They're overtaxing us at the city level. Then it moves over to the county where they tack on interest rates and penalties. These are all illegal, and they're illegally foreclosing on people, putting them out in the street in a pandemic.
I was of the understanding that something had been worked out. So that's not correct?
No, that's not correct. March 31st is a deadline for people who own their homes. And now City Council has been going, Mary Waters, Angela Whitfield Callaway, and I believe Durhall has been going through the streets, walking from house to house, telling people your house is about to be foreclosed. People are coming out like, what? I don't know. They didn't even know. See, there's been a conspiracy to trick people into losing their homes, to trick us into overpaying. And we want a hearing right now. City Council has the power to stop these illegal foreclosures and putting people with families out in the street. Kids need to get online to be in school. How are they going to do that and they don't have a house that their house was illegally foreclosed? This is the Negro removal program, and it's unconstitutional, and it's varied because the powers that be have control over the white media. It is your platform and black media that is informing our people and helping us. Thank you, Mildred.
You're quite welcome. I'm surprised to hear this because I thought that something was being done. The city admitted that it overtaxed the citizens, and I thought that the city was working on some kind of remedy for the overtaxation. Nicole, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mildred. So let me clear up a few things. What happened is that for decades, over a decade, citizens of Detroit have been complaining about being overassessed on their taxes. While this began prior to the current administration, it still continues to this day. And so in 2019, when the news article came out, which also allowed Detroiters to put in their address to see just how much they were overtaxed, we were able to get more exposure around the issue. So myself and a couple of others, we pushed for a public hearing, which was actually granted by the former city council. We packed the room. The Irma Henderson Auditorium had an overflow. So just imagine that. We haven't seen that type of turnout since I don't know when, probably since Irma Henderson was on council. And I say all of that to say the end result was that they were going to look into it at the time. The mayor stated, well, we're not going to get our money back. And there were a council person who told us we can go to the zoo and get our money back. So from there, we continued to push. I, along with a few others, we submitted a resolution to the city council. And that resolution stated, for me, right, and a few others, we are quite clear. The state statute says that at this point, if you're not within a time frame, you can't get your money back, especially because you passed the date for the Michigan Tax Tribunal. So what we can have is a tax credit, Mildred. That was submitted to city council. All right. And for those who had lost their home unjustly to being overtaxed, allow them to get a home off the land bank for $1 and create a program where you can help support them in some of the rehab expenses. That was what we pushed for. The tax credits are definitely something that can be done. They are legal. It will also allow for the city of Detroit to continue to collect revenue and taxes. Because what we were saying is give us maybe 25% of our credit for off of our summer and our winter, right? And then we would be responsible for paying the remaining portion. Well, 5 out of the 6 new council members, all of them stated on their platform, everyone except for Durhall said that they supported the solution and that they would be pushing for it if elected. Well, now they're telling us something different. Oh, we're looking into it and now they're on the other side, or either they're just silent is the problem. They won't say anything. But I promise you, they all committed to supporting this solution to push for us to get tax credits and to remedy this problem as soon as they get on council. Now, what I am hearing from a couple of council members, they're pushing it back on council president, who in January did hold another meeting. To be honest with you, she held another meeting with some community grassroots groups. But it's just to pacify Detroiters. We've told you what we want. We want to be made whole. So why are you having another meeting for us to tell you what we already told you that we want? And so now I'm hearing that. So this is my ask. I want a line item at the committee level for budget and finance is who it would go through. And I want a line item for us to actually discuss this solution. Because if we don't have a line item at committee, be clear, nothing's ever going to happen with city council. It has to go through the committee first and then be brought back to the committee of the whole. They won't even do that. Now I'm hearing that, we're going to address it after budget hearing. You know what's so significant about that, Mildred? If they address making us whole in any way after budget hearing, the money is already approved, which means the money is gone.
Let me ask
you. See how slick that they are?
Let me ask you this. There's a bit of arrogance here on behalf of the city. And it reminds me of when I talked to Andy Dillon some years ago about the revenue sharing and how the Lansing did not send Detroit its money. And he clearly said, this was on the air. He said, we owe the city the money, but we're not going to give it to the city. What doesn't make sense here is that you can overpay and have the city of Detroit saying, we charged you more than we should have. We're not going to make you whole. Now, if there is no movement now, if there has been no movement, there is no movement now in that direction to make these people whole. There seems not to be any legitimate indication that they will be made whole. After the budget meetings, after the budget hearings, after that process has completed, there was. Do you remember the attorney over at Wayne State University Law School?
Yes, Ms. Bernadette, yes.
Yes. She was from Chicago, right?
Yeah, she's a part of the group that met with President Sheffield, the coalition against tax foreclosure, illegal tax foreclosure.
So she's still here. She's still here.
From
a legal perspective, what is she saying about what can legally be done to get these monies back to the citizens, to the homeowners?
She reached out to me before that meeting, and now they have included the tax credits that we were requesting as a part of their proposal, right, for a solution. She, too, agrees that is something, that's a solution that could be remedied now. Now it's just a matter of city council moving forward. Beyond that, we just haven't seen any movement. While I know that she supported the efforts and having another coalition meeting for the public, that's where we do differ. I don't. In the suburbs, they don't tolerate this type of treatment. Number one, they would never tolerate, especially during budget hearings. The first budget hearing was on March 14th. They will run through April the 1st. But mind you, budget hearing, the time started March the 1st, Mildred. Can you imagine telling the people of Southfield, Lathrop Village, Royal Oak, West Bloomfield, any of those areas, Beverly Hills, that what we're going to do is only allow probably less than 10 of you to enter into this room at one time from the public, because we're going to have these meetings in a small room, right, and where 98% of the people sitting in that room are paid by the public because they are staff members of council and they are staff members of the mayor because they lead different departments. This is every week of every hearing and every committee of the whole meeting. Just process that. And the rest of us have to go sit out in the hallway if you can get in. So mind you, these are documents that are coming forward, right? Coming from the mayor's office talking about how he wants to use what? ARPA dollars, which will never see this much money come through the city. I just want you to process that. Half the time you can't get an agenda if they ran out of an agenda, and you have to sit out in the hallway because the people who you are paying to represent you are filling up the seats because the room is so small. And to Terry's point, this is definitely an attempt to exclude people from having a voice and a better understanding of what is happening with this money. We will never see this much money probably in none of our lifetimes, this much money come through the city of Detroit, and we're being excluded.
Well,
and we receive all types of excuses.
Let me ask you this, and I want to deal with some of that. But help me understand how someone who has lost their property due to overtaxation,
mm-hmm.
if they lose their property now, they still have a deficit of resources. How is that person going to become whole?
So what happens is, unfortunately, you can't go back and get that home back after it's been sold. Now, it's still sitting on the land bank. Yes, there is definitely an opportunity for the county to work to make sure that you get that property back. But let's just say someone else has acquired that property. The only way that we can foresee coming close to making them whole, and again, it's because of state statute, you can't get the money back because of the way the property tax laws are written. That's my understanding. What can happen is that the land bank has a slew of homes, which we all know, and we know that there's a separate list that they somehow always end up going to these rich developers but never made available to the average Detroit resident. And they should let them purchase that home for $1, just like they let that man who purchased home, Herman Kiefer, get almost 300 parcels for pennies on $1 in Boston, Edison, Virginia Park, and LaSalle Gardens. Let these people whose home you have basically stolen from them get a home from $1 because there has to be some monetary transaction, right? And then also there is funding around home and neighborhood improvement where part of that program should go towards giving them some type of supplemental monetary money to help them to rehab these homes. That was the best that we can come up with. What the mayor has come up with and some others, which was proposed, is to let them purchase a home for 50% off. Okay. Well, I struggle with that.
50%.
Because if I'm overcharged for something, I usually get a credit or my money back. I'm not told that I can purchase another item for 50% off.
Okay, let me ask you this because I've got to go to break here. When is the council president committed to reopening the auditorium so that people can come in and they can hear and certainly express their concerns?
She hasn't. She claims that media says that it's not set up for that, and I question that because they can put a TV in that room with a laptop, and that would be Zoom, and the rest of us can social distance in that room a lot better than we can being packed in a smaller room. So she hasn't. They claim that they can't do it. But they did do it for the mayor for his charter mandated meeting during COVID. But they won't do it for the public, for the people of Detroit.
And the other council people agree with that?
Except for Member Calloway, I'll give her credit. She did ask, why can't they open up the auditorium? Because no one was going to answer my question. And that was the reason we were given. And then the council president said that she was going to talk to media. To my understanding, she didn't come back to the committee of the whole. She surely didn't respond to me to tell me what that conversation was like. But this is just smoke and mirrors.
When you say media, are you talking about city council media?
Or the City of Detroit's media department.
Because that's a simple process.
Yeah.
My producer standing up here, Marcus, is saying, what they used to do when, and they still do it, television, one station is allowed to cover. This happens a lot when the president's in town and dignitaries like that. One group gets a chance to put their box in and everybody else just plug into that, and everybody gets access technically. Well, I know that the city of Detroit spends a ton of money on its media department, so that should not be, if you got some competent engineers, that certainly can be accommodated. This is pretty scary. I just got to say, if it's true, it's pretty scary. It looks as if, when all the budgets and all this stuff is done, people probably are going to be invited to come on in. But during the process where they're locked out, and I shouldn't use the word locked out, when they are not allowed to come in and hear and express concerns, unless something is done, a lot of folk are going to be left behind. They're going to be homeless?
Well, it's musical chairs for the public. So if you have people waiting in the hall from the public who want to speak during public comment, then you have to wait for someone to leave out of the room. And it's never anyone who's working for the public, right? It always has to be a member of the public. So this is it's intolerable to me. And, the fact that they just won't open up this auditorium and they don't seem concerned about it. And again, $95 million has already been allocated of pandemic aid money to go towards demolition. Name me another city in this country where money for the pandemic is going towards demolition.
Let me ask you this, and maybe you may not know this, but in the past, because there have been some issues in the city of Detroit, and I remember, I think it was under Kilpatrick administration, we learned that you cannot take federal dollars that are designated for one program and move those dollars over and use it for something else. The city of Detroit got in trouble about that before, and I think it had to deal with housing monies. Listen, I've got to go. Thank you very much. This is kind of unbelievable. Seems like folk need to start calling their council person, or they need to, well, I won't say that on the air, but get some legal counsel. This just, I don't know, just doesn't sound like folk are being treated fairly. Thank you so much. I want to ask. Thank you. Listen, I want Stevetta, Lori. Is that Lori? Is that Lori? Lori, Kenny, and Kenny, stay on the line. We'll be right back.
The all-new 105.9 KISS FM, making a difference in Detroit with smooth R&B and old school. The all-new KISS FM with Mason, keeping you jamming at work.
This is my music and my station. Y'all be jamming. Before I let you
I listen to them on the way to work, on the way home, everywhere.
Damn, I love the music. Number one for smooth R&B and old school with Mason at work. This is the all-new 105.9 KISS FM.
Did you know it takes a thief just 15 seconds to steal your identity if they have the last 4 digits of your Social Security number? AARP reminds you to never share any part of your Social Security number. For more information on protecting your money and your identity, Please visit aarp.org/FRAUD.
It's a night of R&B and neo soul with Raheem Devon. Saturday, April 2nd in the Music Hall. With special guest Algebra Bassett.
Don't want nobody touching me, baby.
And Daily. Raheem Devon. Saturday, April 2nd in the Music Hall. Tickets available at the Music Hall box office and online at Ticketmaster.com.
Love getting prices that are lower than low on food that's fresher than fresh? Then shop at Kroger. We give you more ways to save on the fresh you love with tools like the Kroger app, where you can find personalized coupons on top of weekly sales, giving you prices that are lower than the everyday low. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Now you can earn 2 times the fuel points on all your purchases through Tuesday, March 29th. Just clip your coupon, shop, and save. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply.
Now's the time to get a Ford built for you, by you. Built from the ground up with your choice of colors, wheels, and other available features specifically designed for your Ford. Want an F-150 with a 12-inch touchscreen, 400 horsepower and an Explorer, or a moonroof? You got it. Build an order and get an additional $1,000 bonus cash on top of all public offers. But it doesn't end there. You can also lock in current incentives or take those available at the time of your custom order delivery, so you'll never be penalized if the incentives get better.
Place a new vehicle retail order for select 2022 vehicles on or before April 4th and receive a $1,000 bonus cash offer. Offer not available on Super Duty, Maverick, Mustang Mach-E, Bronco SUV, Transit, Mustang Shelby GT500, Mustang Mach-1, Ford GT, F-150 Tremor, F-150 Raptor, or E-Transit. See dealer for complete details and eligibility.
So build and order your select Ford today and get a $1,000 bonus cash on top of all public offers. Now at your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Think Ford first.
In 2018, marijuana use became legal in Michigan for adults over the age of 21. Even though it's legal, driving high is not. Don't drive high. It's the law. A message from the Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning.
You got an uncle in the furniture biz. Take it home.
Robinson Furniture has Detroit's biggest selection of huge 85-inch TVs. They also have Detroit's largest selection of sectionals. And always, $40 down. Take it home.
Take it home.
Hi, it's me, Gia Peppers. Tune in to More Than That live this weekend or wherever you listen to podcasts. This week, I'm talking to Spice Suite owner Angel Gregorio and non-traditional environmental educator Dominique Drakeford about jazzing up our lives with some fun life hacks. This episode of More Than That is sponsored by Kroger. Learn more about how they are facing hunger and waste head on at Kroger.com/ZHZW. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Being able to repurpose things just like changes the narrative that new is always better. Sometimes what you have is actually bomb. You just need to find a new way to look at it.
For me, sustainability was my heartbeat. It was an unencumbered automatic passion to showcase the ways in which we've been sustainable from food all the way to fashion. Ultimately, you're taking what was happening in the past and creating systems in the present so that we can have progress in the future.
Do you want the best for your car? Then fill up with Premium at Circle K. Circle K Premium is our best fuel with double the cleaning detergent, protecting your engine from corrosion and damage so it can work at its best. And that, my friend, increases your mileage for more cha-ching in your pocket. Plus, when you fill up with Premium at Circle K, you can save up to 20 cents per gallon. Offer valid Thursdays or Fridays at participating stores. For details, visit CircleK.com. Circle K. How convenient.
Excuse me. I know you have a 9 o'clock, so I'll keep this short. I'm the business suit in the back of your closet. You wore me nearly every day before your office went, quote, casual. I used to be the CEO of your closet. Now I'm just that one intern no one ever talks to. I always thought you'd circle back with me, get granular, keep me in the pipeline. But nada. Nothing. Don't you remember the McKittrick presentation? You spilled coffee on me, and I still looked amazing during the breakout talkback Q&A. So, I think it's time for me to move on. I've got a great resume, and I absolutely crush it in interviews, okay? Let's make this a clean break. Shift the paradigm. The only thing I ask is that you think outside the box here and do this. Take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create new jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Sure, we have 30 seconds to tell you that drivers who switch to Progressive could save big. But then what? Well, radio has been called theater of the mind, so let's tell a story with sound effects. Wow, it's like I was in the story. Almost makes me forget this was supposed to be about saving big with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is the Mildred Gaddis Show. The streets are talking.
Well, I got something to say.
The streets are talking, but y'all ain't listening.
What the streets talking about then?
The streets are talking, y'all, and Mildred is listening.
It is 10:32 in the city. I'm Mildred Gaddis, 313-568-1059. Tony, thank you for checking in. You're on the air. Tony? Stevetta, you're on the air.
Good morning, Miss Mildred Gaddison. How you doing this morning?
I'm fine, thank you.
I just want to make a comment. First of all, you know, it was an article in the paper about the city council not letting the members in. And it's just discussing about even at some of the precincts not even being open. As one of ours, the 12th precinct. Now, you got the city service, you know, they so busy pushing people to come to the neighborhood for businesses and for entertainment, but yet and still, you can't let people in for council meetings. And because senior citizens, I know for a fact that a lot of the seniors that we helped out with, they don't have computers. They are not computer literate. So, you know, they're missing out on a lot of stuff. I would have to get on most of the times Wednesday or Thursday and to talk to them to tell them what happened. You know, that's disgusting. When they got cars and they can come to the meeting and hear for themselves and also voice their opinion and expression what's going to happen. And, you know, I'm sick of it because now how come the city, the lady that's over the whole city health department, she's not saying anything about them opening up the businesses, but yet and still she always got something to say about when we want to come in and open up that auditorium. That auditorium, you figure it out, you pull it up. You can sit every other row, and every 2 rows, and even every 3 seats, and you still have enough room for people to come in.
All right, we've got a council. We've got
just don't want to look at us.
We have a council member on the line to hopefully give us some shed some light on this. Okay, thank you very much, Stevetta. Council member Mary Waters. Good morning. Council member.
Good morning. Good morning, Mildred and community. How are you?
Fine. So why are you locking the people out?
Oh, well, we are not locking the people out, Mildred. Let me just say. Let me say this first and foremost. The city does not own the building. The city pays for using the building. The building is literally owned by the building authority. So the building authority has said, and they said this to the president of the city council, it is not ready yet. They are working to work out all of those logistics. I don't know all the reasons that it's not ready, but that's what they're saying to us. We cannot make them do it. Each time that we use that auditorium, it has to be paid for. The city does not own it. The city does not own the building either. So I want people to understand that first and foremost. There's no conspiracy to keep the people out. I've got to tell you, there are several of us that would be having a fit if we can make that happen right now so that people can come down and participate. You know, and as far as the council chambers, there's always been a limit, even prior to the pandemic. You can only fit so many people in that room. That is true. And the pandemic, of course, makes it even more difficult. But they are working as expeditiously as they possibly can to make sure that we're able to hold meetings in the auditorium again. But Mildred, our hands are tied right now. I mean, the building authorities say you can't use it yet. and guess what? We don't own it. We cannot make them do it.
So City Hall. So City Hall
Yes.
is not owned by the city.
It is not.
How long has that? It's always been the case.
Well, I don't think it's always been the case. It's kind of like with the water. You know,